Hi, I'm going to share an overview of the rules and conventions of academic writing in two videos. This is the first one based on the basic grammar rules for academic English. The basic rules are about writing in complete sentences, ensuring subject-verb agreement, using appropriate punctuation, using the right vocabulary, and last but not the least, using the apostrophe correctly. Now I'm going to explain these rules in detail. Rule number 1. Write in sentences. Proper sentences start with a capital letter, end with a full stop, exclamation mark or question mark, and contain a verb. Make sure you avoid writing very long rambling sentences. There shouldn't be more than 2 ideas in a sentence. Each sentence should make sense if it were read out independently. Rule number 2. Subject-verb agreement. If the subject of a sentence is singular, then the verb form must be singular as well. Problem can occur with case agreement in 2 circumstances. 1. If a statement begins in the singular but drifts into the plural, such as stated in the example here, the easy solution to this problem is to make both the subject and verb plural. Secondly, collective nouns cause confusion. For example, the government are passing new legislation. This is incorrect because there is just one government in the example, and so it should be read as the government is passing new legislation. Rule number 3. Use appropriate punctuation. If you have any doubt about punctuation, use as little as possible and write short, direct sentences. Here is a brief explanation of punctuations. Comma. Commas are used to denote a weak pause in a sentence. Dashes and hyphens may be used in pairs to insert an explanatory comment or a short list. Hyphens are used to connect prefixes to words or when forming compound words such as second in command. Exclamation marks. Use exclamation marks as little as possible in formal work. They give the work a juvenile and overexcited tone. Colons. The colon is used to introduce a strong pause within a sentence. Besides this, a colon can introduce a list or can precede a long quotation. Parentheses. Within parentheses, non-essential information is mentioned, the one that could be skipped. Brackets are most commonly employed in academic writing within a quotation, where the writer is omitting or explaining something. Braces are used quite rarely and are employed to essentially make a list within a list. Ellipses. 3 dots mark the omission of a word or words. If the omission includes the end of a sentence, the glyph has 4 dots instead of 3. Rules about semicolon. You only use the semicolon if you know how to use it properly. It's difficult and tricky. However, there are 4 main uses of semicolon. A semicolon is used when a second clause expands or explains the first. A semicolon is used to describe a sequence of actions or different aspects of the same topic. A semicolon is used before clauses which begin with nevertheless, therefore, even so, and for instance. A semicolon is used to mark off a series of phrases or clauses which contain commas. Here are some examples of using semicolon. The first example is of second clause expanding or explaining the first. Second example demonstrates a use of semicolon to describe a sequence of actions or different aspects of the same topic. Third example is about clauses beginning with nevertheless, therefore, even so, etc. This particular example is about even so. Fourth example bears a series of phrases which contain commas. Rule number 4. Use the right vocabulary. Confusing words. They could be homonyms, homophones, homographs, and heteronyms. Examples are given here for you. Make sure you check and recheck the spellings in order to be sure that you have picked the correct diction. Refer to dictionary in case of any confusion. Because a word may sound similar but spelled out differently, the said word could have very different meaning. Rule number 5. Use the apostrophe correctly. The apostrophe has 2 functions. It indicates the possessive case and contractions. Possessive case refers to ownership. You can see the work of the information manager or the information manager's work. The use of the apostrophe depends on whether the possessor is singular or plural. If possessor is singular, then apostrophe will appear before s. If plural, the apostrophe will appear after s. Contraction. In written English, words that have been contracted use apostrophes to show where the missing letters would normally appear. For example, we apostrophe re means we are, which is different from were without an apostrophe. It is important to note the rule no contraction in possessive adjectives. The most confusing possessive adjective is its. If the use of the word its appears in your work to denote ownership, remember that it does not take the apostrophe. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe the Learning Co for more. Thank you.